who's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee and was questioning Ms. Jackson today. Senator, welcome back. As always, I mean, I'm raising this issue. It's an old issue, constitutionally based, but I had something I wanted to pass by you. This business about the Chevron deference doctrine, where, you know, either government regulators set the law or Congress sets the law. And apparently, Ms. Jackson, on 11 different occasions, wrote opinions favoring the so-called Chevron deference, which means favoring regulators and their interpretation of the law rather than the actual law. And Senator Blackburn, I raise this because this has a gigantic impact on business and the economy.
You're exactly right. It does have an impact. And if you're going to favor government and the regulators and not Congress in setting the law, then, you know, this is somebody who's going to come down on the side of big government, and that is a concern. As we look at her record writ large and the 550 opinions that she wrote when she was on the district court, these are things, Larry, that people want to know. Is she going to abide by the Constitution? Is she going to abide by the rule of law? Is she going to rein in regulators when the business sector sues the regulators or the government because they have overstepped their bounds and gone beyond congressional intent? So as we get into questions tomorrow everybody's going to have a 30-minute round of questions, and on Wednesday we will all have a 20-minute round of questions. But questioning her on these opinions, on the path that she took, not only with this, but with crime, looking at court packing, looking at judicial philosophy, all of those are things we're going to bring up with her as we review her record.
Were you satisfied so far from what you've heard?
Well, today was just opening statements. It is important that we as members of the Judiciary Committee kind of frame where we're going in our questioning with her, because she comes across as very likable. She has a very impressive resume. She is highly educated. She has had a very successful career being in private practice, a federal defender, public defender, working as a co-chair of the Sentencing Commission, then on to the district court and the appellate court. So she has a broad base of experience. What we have to do is look at what she has done with that experience and say, what is her judicial philosophy? Does she first go to the Constitution? Does she go to the rule of law? And that's what Tennesseans want to know. They want to know that Lady Justice is always going to be blind, that it is going to be equal access, it is going to be equal justice, and when they go to a federal court or the Supreme Court, that their arguments are going to be heard, they're going to be considered on the merits, and it is going to be a constitutionally based decision that stands on the federal statute that is applicable.
Can I just ask you one, Senator Blackburn, before I lose you, and you're going to raise a lot of questions, I know, regarding parents and their role in schools and school boards, and this whole business about woke critical race theory. Does Ms. Jackson have a record on this so far that we know of?
She does. And I brought this up with her today because in her teaching, she has recommended the consideration of critical race theory and CRT in decision making. She has served on the board of a school which supports progressive education and critical race theory, and even had a program in the school called Woke Kindergarten. This is something of tremendous concerns to parents. One of the things I hear about most in Tennessee is parental rights and making certain that children are taught, that they're not being indoctrinated. We've seen this across the country. From Virginia to San Francisco, people are standing up and saying, don't do this to my child. I want them to be educated, not indoctrinated.
All right, Senator Marsha Blackburn, we hope you'll come back to us after all these hearings and weigh in. Thanks very much, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.